Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome to another boss guide for 9 Souls, ladies and gentlemen. This is G. This guy is located at the Grotto of Scriptures West, right in that door there. This is a pretty interesting fight. We got the Water Flow, Shadow Hunter, Transmute unto Life, Medicine Pipe, Azure Bow, Mystic Nymph, and here are my Jades as well. As usual, the only thing that matters is the Focus Jade and the Breather Jade, which I could definitely change up, but really, I try to get these fights down mechanically on a base level. And then I have all these skills except for those 3 there. Now, this fight is an interesting one. It really is going to come down to the daggers that G throws. They constantly throw these little daggers out that really can mess you up because there's so many of them. I always recommend hitting him before he goes into this because you can't damage him when he's in this, but you can damage him before he does it and also as he comes out of it. But yeah, basically he'll rotate these little spheres around him, and if you parry one of them, you'll choose a fate because this guy is all about fate. So what you want to do is parry one and then immediately release a charged attack onto him for free damage. Now, if it's this little whirlwind attack, you just kind of want to run away from it while tapping L1 to reflect the daggers that they throw. And then eventually they're going to do a Tai Chi charge. You know it's always going to come. So get ready to jump and tap L1 in order to stun them and deal some extra damage to them. Also, save your arrows for the second phase because the first phase is really easy once you get it down. But yeah, tap a fate and then immediately release some attacks because he is very much open to attacks before he starts doing the fate thing and then also directly after. But yeah, this guy is all about the daggers, and they're actually really hard to parry. I swear the timing is very bizarre. Some of them you're like, sure, you'll get, and then they'll still hit you. So yeah, he'll either throw them out and they'll come back the other way, so you got to be ready for that. There will also be one that just appears behind you. That one always gets me because it's so confusing to remember. And then after he's done with all of these dagger throws, he will always do that Tai Chi charge. So make that your priority to hit him. And that's basically phase 1. It doesn't really matter what fate you pick. They're all relatively around the same in terms of difficulty to avoid stuff. It really just comes down to timing those dagger presses. But yeah, here he's going to do this ring, which you simply want to dash through, and then there's going to be another ring, and then you can also destroy the stuff that he leaves on the ground. Sometimes he'll drop a pot, which will actually heal you or give you an arrow charge, so you want to destroy that. Sometimes he'll drop the sphere, which I honestly don't even know what happens if you don't destroy it, because I always destroyed it. You know, with one charged attack, it gets destroyed. But yeah, basically, if you know that Tai Chi kick is coming, you can always, hit him and then deal some damage, and phase 1 is not too bad whatsoever. Now, phase 2 is where things get much more difficult. When he drops the little whirlwind or black hole, there's going to be one of these red rings either coming out from it or coming into it. And then after that, these daggers are always going to spread out like this. So what I tried to do is basically jump in between the bottom row and the second row that is further up from that. And then you can kind of dash. I usually get hit because it's honestly very hard to parry them, and it's very hard to jump over them without getting hit by at least once. But if you time your reflex well, you'll be able to avoid all damage. And then yeah, they'll basically always do this red charge attack from above, which is super easy to super parry because you have quite a lot of time, and also the Tai Chi kick. So honestly, in the second phase, they open themselves up a lot. See, they're doing it already right here. So as soon as you see that red charge coming in, make sure to start holding L1 and release at the right time to do a super parry. That, in addition to the Tai Chi kick, will make it so that they are always open to counterattack, and then basically always be throwing out your arrows in this phase as well for extra damage. The homing arrows will just constantly deal damage to them, as you can see here. So yeah, right here they're going to do this wave attack or whatever, this area of effect. So just dash into the ring and then make sure to destroy the little orb. Like I said, I don't know what the orb even does if you don't destroy it. I have just learned very much so in video games, you want to destroy the things they leave on the ground always. So yeah, just one charged attack will get rid of that orb that G leaves on the ground. So here comes the Tai Chi. I try to land a charged hit, and then also immediately after a water talisman, and then I also press Y in order to send out my arrows. Here comes the overhead charge, so I charge up my L1 and then release at the right time, and that stuns them. And yeah, basically this phase isn't too bad if you get decent at the dagger reflecting, because they will always spam either the Tai Chi kick or the overhead charge, which means they're always open to counterattacks if you can time the counters well enough. But remember, you can damage them before they do this little fate choosing thing, and then also after. So always go aggressive, as they're like getting their fate situated. But this is going to be the little urn, so they'll drop the urn. You can break it with one charged attack, and it will either heal you or give you an arrow charge. So it's nice to do. I mean, you don't have to, but it's basically like the good fate if you choose that one. I don't know how realistically you can choose an attack, because if you don't, parry the orbs, G will just choose an attack themselves. But yeah, I mean, if you can go for the Erd, if you have enough reaction time to be able to pick that one, go for that one, because that's the good one basically. But yeah, just always be watching the daggers that they're throwing out, because that's really the only thing that makes this at all challenging, is the constant daggers and having to tap L1 in addition to everything else in phase 2. But anytime they do that over the head, red slam, just hold L1, release at the right time, and then deal as much damage as you possibly can, weaving in your talismans as well. And then if they keep doing the left to right charges, get ready to Tai Chi kick. And if you're weaving in your arrows and your talismans, you will be able to focus them down quite quickly, as you can see here. And that is G, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely not one of the harder bosses in this game as far as the late game real bosses. But yeah, hope this guide helped. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe for more guides.